So first question for today, Andrew, is one that we get. I'm a good person, so why do I need Jesus?
So that does feel a bit of a brick wall. So in football, there's two kinds of blocks, basically. One is pass blocking, and that's kind of where you stand back on your feet and people try to get at your quarterback and he's trying to get rid of the ball. It's kind of a passive way to block. Run blocking is another thing. Run blocking is some big mountain of humanity's coming at you and is just going to smoke you. And this feels a bit like a run block. When it comes to run blocking, you just like get out of the way, don't get hurt. Kind of. I was never a defensive player, obviously. But the question feels like that, like kind of arms folded. And who are you to tell me that I'm not good enough without God? So I'd be like, hey, I'm not going to poke that bear. I want to be careful with this person who maybe has come into this from a past experience of faith or has just heard something and they're like, yeah, you guys annoy me, you're religious people, you think you're all better than everybody else. So I would probably avoid it. I think some of the responses that people give to those sorts of things are to try to make the person feel less good about themselves. And you know, God's perfect and no one makes God's standard, which is very biblical and it's very true. Nobody can be good enough. But I'm not sure that's the right way to do it. Jesus certainly clarified things. Someone came to him and said, good teacher. And Jesus, he didn't correct him like the guy had made a mistake. He just said, just be clear about this. There's only one who's good and it's God. So the whole thought of good it's close to God's heart. But I had a conversation with a guy, firefighter actually, maybe a year ago, and we were talking about this, and he just said those very same words, like, I don't need God to be good. I'm good all by myself. And so I can't remember how I responded. I wish now that I'd responded this way. Okay, who was it that said that good was the main objective? Like, what is it that human beings are for? I think, you know, we both have read a book recently called Super Communicators. And the piece that shocked me when I started the book, and still I'm just about done it, is his invitation to ask lots of questions. Apparently, super communicators ask 10 times more questions than the rest of us mortals. So I think anytime someone comes after us or has a question, not that you're trying to dodge it, but it's interesting to get at what's below that. So my question would be, you're good enough for what? And maybe for what are human beings designed? What's our purpose? And so my comeback in other situations has been to say, what if being good actually isn't at the top of God's list? What if having a relationship with us is the most important thing to God? And the whole point of us being on the planet wasn't that God would have little perfect girls and perfect boys running around, everybody's good, but that they're in a relationship with Him, the living God. So if I finish out like this, you're parent to a couple of adult kids, I am too, and when they were little, you know, maybe there was an option. There was never an option with the boys. They could have been good. You know, they always folded their laundry. They always made their beds. They always picked up after themselves. But they never would talk. Never said anything. Didn't even admit your existence. You know, would you choose that kind of good, which is what a person who's saying is, I don't need God, I'm good. Would you choose that kind of child over one who probably left the dishes dirty in the sink, but came home and talked your ear off and wanted you to tell you all about their day and let you know you mattered in their lives, and that relationship was rich. So I would probably move it that way towards a relationship, because it's obviously hackles are up, and people are feeling a little guarded.